Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Happy Monday. Kitang-kita naman. Let's now have Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Good Monday morning, Pilipinas, and good Monday morning to the ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. Good news, motorists will soon be able to traverse the Plaridel Bypass Road as the project's Phase 2 is nearing completion. According to the Department of Public Works and Highways, the 24.61-kilometer road project, funded with assistance from the Japan International Cooperation Agency, will link North Luzon Expressway in Balagtas, Bulacan, and the Philippine-Japan Friendship Highway or the Maharlika Highway in San Rafael, Bulacan. Passing through the bypass road will only require a travel time of 30 minutes. The road project is expected to be inaugurated by next month. We welcome the findings of the latest Business Barometer Oxford Business Group in ASEAN CEO survey, where investors' sentiment and business prospects for the Philippines remain upbeat. The Philippines ranked highest in the ASEAN region in terms of projected gross domestic product growth, with business leaders forecasting the Philippine GDP growth between 6 to 8%. We guarantee that the Duterte administration remains on track in accelerating the country's growth rate by improving the ease of doing business to transform the country into one of the world's leading investment destinations. Good news, we welcome the latest forecast by Moody's Analytics, citing the country's economy likely to grow by 6.8% for the first quarter of the year. Moody's Analytics attributed the faster economic growth to increased investments and stronger consumer spending supported by stable inflows of remittances from overseas Filipino workers. The Philippines is also expected to remain as one of the Asia's fastest growing major economies over the coming years. We guarantee the country's robust economic growth will be supported by solid macroeconomic fundamentals and sustained investments in infrastructure and social services such as education, health, and social protection. Questions, please?
Question. Rose Novenario.
Good morning, sir. Sir, meron pong post si dating presidential sister Kris Aquino sa social media na parang naiinis siya dun sa TV show ni Corina Sanchez dahil feature yung masayang pamilya na ngayon ni James Yap at yung kanyang second wife. Dahil po doon ay sinabi niyang mas tama raw po na nanalo si Pangulong Duterte kaysa po sa Mr. ni Corinang si Mar Rojas last 2016 presidential elections. Ano po yung reaction ng palasyo rito?
Welcome on board, Kris Aquino. Next.
Question, MPC? May follow-up pa ba yan, Rose? Question.
Sir, ano tawag dito? Magkakaroon po kayo ng posibleng reconciliation ng palasyo sa pamilya Aquino dahil po sa statement ni Miss Kris?
Well, ang nabasa ko sa statement niya ngayon lang, a few seconds before the press briefing was walang masamang pinakita si Presidente Duterte sa kanya at sa kanyang pamilya nung nangangampanya siya para sa kanyang kapatid sa Davao.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Maricel Halili.
At alam mo, yun din ang sinabi sa akin ni Presidente, ha? Kasi si Presidente noong 86 Revolution, nagsuporta kay Cory at lahat ng kampanya ng pamilyang Aquino suportado ni Presidente Duterte sa Davao, no? And the mother, of course, of the president.
Okay, other issue, Maricel Halili.
Hi sir, good morning. Sir, yun sa Kuwait lang po kasi pinatawag daw po ng Kuwaiti government yung Philippine ambassador over the weekend because of allegedly yung paglabas po nung video na meron daw ilang mga embassy officials na nagre-rescue doon sa mga Filipino workers doon. Sir, parang merong dalawang protest na inabot yung Kuwait dun sa Philippine ambassador. May we have details about it? And how will this affect, sir, yung ongoing negotiations po between the Philippines and the Kuwaiti government?
This happened this weekend. The Secretary of Foreign Affairs has not officially informed the palace of what has happened in Kuwait. And because of this, I will have to defer to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs on this matter. So we are awaiting information from the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Although the President is the Chief Architect of Foreign Affairs, the reality is day-to-day diplomacy is conducted in this country for the President by the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. So I would expect that Secretary Cayetano would have a statement on this within the day.
Sir, ano po yung marching orders ng Malacañang in terms of releasing video, especially yung mga rescue operations doon sa mga Filipino workers?
You know, the facts are rather sketchy. We have heard an account from the OWA, but we have also heard an account from Congressman Bertis. I have not heard the version of the DFA. So we would await actually the official communication from the Department of Foreign Affairs before commenting on this matter.
Thank you, sir.
Question? Cedric?
Sir, morning, sir. Jose Maria Sison, sir, has cited some conditions po para daw siya umuwi sa Pilipinas and help President Duterte pursue yung peace talks. Dapat daw ay maganda na yung track ng peace negotiations at mukhang sigurado, and then he will come home daw para tulungan yung government.
I don't know if he's in a position to provide for conditions. What the President said was if peace talks will resume, he's welcome to come home. The President will assure his security and the fact that he will not be arrested. Beyond that, the President has not acceded to any further terms.
Thank you, sir.
Follow-up, Tina Mendez.
Sir, in relation to this, si Joma Season po is is classified as a financing terrorism under the U.S. list of terror organizations. Will the Duterte administration do something about it so that he can safely come back home?
The President has given his word that he will not be apprehended while in the Philippines.
While in the Philippines, but en route from the Netherlands to the Philippines.
That's not beyond our control, of course, no? But in the Philippines, his liberty will be guaranteed by the President.
So how can he come back home if at least the government cannot help him?
It's up to him. Perhaps he should take Philippine Airlines. It's the only way.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not promoting Philippine Airlines, incidentally.
Okay, follow-up, Maricel Halili.
Sir, when the President mentioned na 60 days to have the peace talks between the government and the NPA, kailan po yung sinasabi ni Presidente na start nung 60 days?
As soon as both sides have clearly agreed to resume peace talks.
Do we have a target, sir?
No target, but the statement from Joma Season is again new. So this might be a new condition which will have to be discussed. But as far as I know, both have to agree to resume peace talks, and the 60 days period should be reckoned from that date.
Sir, 60 days is parang medyo short yung time compared doon sa naging talks nila na inabot ng ilang years. But at least what do we expect or ano yung target natin to achieve within the 60-day period?
You know, the problem is we've been talking peace with them for years and years and years. Walang katapusan. So I think the President said that this is our last chance, 60 days only, because I understand the only agenda is, addressing supposedly the root causes of rebellion. No? And I don't think there's a divergence of views on the root causes of rebellion. It is poverty. So if the government and the CPP-NPA will agree to address the root causes, then it should not even take 60 days. Because we have a common platform. No? Mas maginhawang buhay para sa lahat. Mas komportabling buhay para sa lahat.
Okay, question? MPC? No more questions. Pia Gutierrez.
Hi sir. Sir, what can we expect from President Duterte on Labor Day? Meron po ba siyang mga i-anunsyong pro-labor on May 1?
Traditionally, there's something that is announced. No? So I'll wait for Labor Day. We still have a few days before we commemorate.
Also, sir, there are some labor groups who have expressed doubt na maipapasa ang security of tenure bill sa Congress because most of the lawmakers daw are apparently pro-management. Ano pong masasabi ninyo doon?
My version of the bill has been passed by the House even before I moved to Malacañang. So the issue is now with the Senate.
Thank you, sir.
Peng Alinio.
Sir, is the President going to Kuwait after this problem with Kuwaiti government? yung dahil dun sa pinalabas na rescue na mga OFW?
Well, I'm not aware of the final decision of the president whether or not he will go to Kuwait. So I will clarify. But the last statement was he wants to go to tell them why they should be more humane to Filipino workers. No, and of course he will go when there's already an agreed agreement, no, on the minimum terms and conditions for employment of Filipino overseas workers. No, but I'm not aware now of the current stand of the Philippine president, and we will of course await word also from the DFA on the latest event that happened this weekend in Kuwait.
Sir,
Follow-up lang, sir. Dumating na po yung galing Kuwait from the Philippines. Any result po of that visit?
Alam nyo, ang sinabi naman sa akin ng OWA, parang napapayag naman daw nila yung Kuwait sa lahat ng gusto nila. Kasama dyan yung parang plaza para sa day off ng mga kababayan natin. So parang upbeat yung mga OWA official na nag-report sa akin, no? Pero hindi ko nga alam kung ano maging epekto ng iba pang mga nangyari over the weekend, no? So let's await word from Secretary Cayetano.
Sir, follow-up. Palagay po ninyo magkakaroon ng epekto ito sa hinuhulmang Memorandum of Agreement sa pagitan ng Kuwaiti government at ng Philippine government?
Sana hindi. But by filing a diplomatic protest, of course, it's expression of displeasure, and let's see what steps the DFA will take next.
Okay, Cedric, microphone, Pia, please.
Sir, update lang po sir doon sa Boracay, yung closure order tsaka yung declaration po nung state of calamity. Kailan po ito naka-set?
Forthcoming na po yan. Siyempre, 26 na no? So, forthcoming very soon. This was discussed in the last cabinet meeting on Boracay kailan ba yun? Last Friday ba yun? Yeah, it was last Friday. So, lalabas na yung order ng state of calamity at saka yung proclamation on the closure of Boracay.
Sir, may question po from Joseph, although hindi ko ma-frame right now. Ano? It's parang kung pwede daw pong pa-elaborate yung dun sa unimpeded access ng media personnel. Tama po ba?
Well, I can only confirm as of now that in the cabinet meeting, I personally appealed to the interagency to reconsider the 9 to 5 rule applied to members of the media to cover. I do agree that media does not sleep. And of course, although a comparison was made between Boracay and Marawi, I said wala namang IED sa Boracay. And I think I persuaded the cabinet that provided that there will be accreditation for a Boracay press corps, then they can issue media cards to accredited members of the Boracay Press Corps, and they can be treated as residents in the island. But let's await the final word from the interagency. I do not want to preempt them, but my impression was they were in agreement before I left the meeting. That was the last point that I raised before I left the meeting.
Okay, Ted Tubera, microphone.
Good morning, Secretary. Reaction lang po dun sa sinabi ni Justice Carpio na the Philippines should protest yung recent activities ng China dun sa West Philippine Sea.
Well, I don't think he should preempt any decision of the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. The Secretary of Foreign Affairs has said they are looking at all diplomatic responses to this latest report. So a protest should not be precluded. So I think the statement of Justice Carpio is premature. Let's await the final word from Secretary Cayetano.
Thank you.
Okay, Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, hingi lang po ako ng palace reaction on the U.S. State Department report.
Well, you know, I read the the State Department report, and I was really lost on how to read it. Number one, if you know, the Secretary of State was recently changed. So I do not know how much input the former Secretary of State had in drafting that final report. Number two, I personally heard the discussion between President Trump and President Duterte when they were here in the Philippines during the ASEAN summit. And I think I heard words from President Trump praising President Duterte, including the war on drugs. If I am not mistaken, President Trump said he knows what he's doing in the Philippines. No? So I do not know how to reconcile the State Department report with the actual statement of the President. But for now, we're going by the statements of President Trump that we all heard from the mouth of President Trump.
So you're saying, sir, that the U.S. State Department report is not consistent with the stand of President Trump?
I think so, and given what we heard from President Trump, let's just say it exists, but we prefer to hold on to the words of President Trump. He is, after all, the president.
Okay, last question na tayo. Rose Novenario.
Hi sir, good morning po uli. Sir, may sinulat po si dating presidential spokesperson Rigoberto Tiglao na may information daw po siya na si Vice President Leni Robredo at iba pang opisyal ng Liberal Party ang nag-udyok sa EU Parliament para mag-issue ng resolution po noong April 18 laban po sa extrajudicial killings po na nagaganap sa Pilipinas. Ano po yung masasabi ng palasyo rito?
Kahit ano naman sabihin ng EU, bayaan mo sila magsalita. We have been very firm as far as the EU is concerned that the President will do what he thinks is best for his country. He's only accountable to the Filipino people and to no one else. But I hope Mr. Tiglao will follow up on his report because we do have to expose this if it can be proven.
Sir, wasto po ba yung mga ganong aksyon ng Vice Presidente na parang nag-uudyok na batikusin ng ibang bansa yung sarili niyang bansa?
Medyo mahirap magkomento kasi hindi pa naman napopruebahan. So it's an allegation. I hope it can be backed up. And if it's backed up, then we can take moves.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tina Mendez. Mike.
Sir, in relation to the President's trip to Singapore this weekend, there's a report from the Philippine Star saying that the President wants a leaner delegation and that he will be taking a private plane and that he also anyway, can we have the reasons why he is taking a private plane, leaner delegation, and that he might forgo of the traditional departure and arrival speeches?
To save money. It's expensive to charter a plane. And a leaner delegation would mean lesser cost for the taxpayer.
But sir, did he not say that he'd prefer commercial planes rather than take private planes?
You know, the private plane is an 8-seater plane. So it's a very small plane. No? It's a 2-hour flight from Davao to Singapore. So it's not a long flight. So, but it's an 8-seater plane. I think other than SAPCO, all the other people in the plane will be staff complement of the President, including a nurse, things like that. So it's a very small team that will fly with him, and it's a lot cheaper compared to chartering an entire Philippine Airlines plane.
So the government is footing the bill on this flight, sir?
Yes, of course. Yes.
So what will he really forgo with the arrival and departure speeches?
That's what I know, but
Why?
I saw a schedule. So I'm now confused because I'm coming from here to Davao, to Singapore, no? So I will not be able to witness the departure statement, no? But I think it's because it's the first of many ASEAN meetings under the chairmanship of Singapore, and this is only the first. So I think it's a leaders' meeting. That's why he's going. But it's not like the summit that we hosted. The big summit will be when the turnover will happen. No? So that's why we're also cutting on costs.
Okay, thank you, Tina. Cedric?
Sir, from Joseph Morong ulit, sir. Pa-elaborate daw, sir, yung mga legal basis ng actions sa Boracay po, sir.
Anong legal basis? Napakadami naman yan. Ano ba naman yan? Legal basis is, of course, the inherent police power of the state, no? To protect the environment. No? That's the legal basis for what's going to happen in Boracay.
I guess
And of course, police power is one of 3 inherent powers of a state, together with eminent domain and the power of taxation.
Sir, last on my part, sir. Over the weekend, President Duterte said that he sacked a USEC, and I think parang 2 officials yata na nabanggit niya. Can you give us additional details? Kasi you said if he did not resign, USEC Sai would have been sacked.
And he was again referring to him over the weekend, di ba? Oh, that he should shut up. So let's leave it at that.
So si USEC Sai po yung...
I think it was clear because the question was, kaya raw nag-resign because of differences over Endo. And the president told him, shut up. Otherwise, I will share with the media the affidavit signed before me, no? Detailing the activities, his activities.
Yung ibang officials, sir, kung meron pa, may...
Ako lilinawin ko po, until the president says it, and I tell you that there's another one, there's no one else scheduled for the chopping block. Nagkakaroon kasi ng confusion because of the information. Meron daw 6, 5 cabinet members. Yan po ay rekomendasyon apparently ng Anti-Graft Commission. No? Pero hindi po yan nanggaling dito sa palasyo. So alam niyo naman ang setup natin dito sa palasyo. No? If there will be another one, I will let you know. But for now, I will also clarify the mandate of the Anti-Graft Commission. I will clarify first and foremost if it will include cabinet members, okay? And number 2, we will have to come up with agreement on information. I think they do not know lang kasi the procedure of the palace on what qualifies as presidential statements, no? But I think as Queenie will coordinate closely with the spokesperson of the Anti-Graft Commission, Belica, and will inform him of our protocols.
Okay, thank you. Last question na tayo, Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, aside from some cabinet officials, meron po ba tayong balita kung sino-sino po mga political personalities na sasama kay President Duterte sa Singapore? Like for example, Mayor Sara Duterte, will she be coming with the President po?
No information yet. That's one of the things I'm going to clarify today, the members of the mission.
Also, sir, what can we expect from the Filipino community meeting with President Duterte
That's
sa
always
Singapore?
been an integral part of every official trip that the Philippines embarks on, a meeting with the Filipino community. So it's really his way of communicating with our OFWs, and I think it's a good practice of the President. No? What else can I say other than it's very much appreciated by the OFW, and the President conducts these meetings as a matter of course.
Sir, there were some criticisms during yung Hong Kong Filipino community meeting with President Duterte because apparently parang nagmukha daw sortie ng PDP laban senatorial slate yung Filipino community meeting. What can you say about that, sir? And will we also expect that same thing to happen sa Singapore?
I really don't think that's true. Kamutik na nga nakalimutan akong batiin ni Presidente, sortie. I object to that.
But sir, you were given a chance to speak as well as with other personalities during this, before he came to the...
Kasi ano naman mangyayari kung di kami magsasalita ron, ang dami na naka-assemble na tao, no? Nandun na sila, anong gagawin namin doon? Magtitinginan, no? So we were basically front acts for the President. What can you do? Ako naman, I have a standard. To those who have been going with us, I have a standard. I enumerate the accomplishments of the Duterte administration, which is my job as spokesperson as well. So I don't know if that is campaigning, no? But who can deny the achievements that I enumerate in all these meetings with the OFWs?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay na tayo. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps.
Thank
Salamat.
you. See you tomorrow.
Salamat, Presidential Spokesperson Roque. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.